Do you know what's the worst thing that can happen to a gamer in India? It's when you purchase a newly released game at its full price and just within few days or just few hours of its release, that same game gets cracked. I mean, it's so soul crushing. As soon as that happens, you start regretting buying that game. And that happened with me quite a few times. So, why do we actually feel regret? Why do we feel that way? Well, that's what we'll try to figure out in this video. So, the most important thing, why do we actually pirate games? The quick and simple answer to that question is we in India, we just cannot afford to buy those games. The amount of money these games are being priced at is just out of budget for most of the gamers in India. And an average Indian gamer just cannot afford that price. I earn fairly good myself, but even I need to think a lot harder before I purchase any newly released games. I still remember purchasing Cyberpunk all the way back in 2020. Man, that feels like a million years ago. I remember buying that game for 3000 rupees because I was so excited to play that game day one. And within just a few hours of its release, that game was already available on pirated websites. I felt so guilty after that because I could have used that money doing something else. So that's the thing. We always have to choose between following our hobby, buying the new games, or using that same money for something else. Because that 3,000-4,000 rupees is still a huge amount for a middle class guy in India. And why does that happen? It's because of purchasing parity. Now, what exactly is purchasing power parity? See, I'm gonna keep it really simple. I'm no expert here, so I'm not gonna deep dive on this. And if you want more information on this, you can just Google it. So the purchasing power parity is an economic theory and metric which is used to compare living standards and economic growth between countries by equalizing the buying power of different currencies. This is the literal definition I got from Google, as you can see here. So let's say for an example, the average salary in US is around $82,000 a year. I got that number from the Wikipedia, by the way, as you can see here. But let's just go on the lower end of it, because I have a few colleagues who work in US, so we'll just go on the low wage of $50,000 a year. Okay, so that's around $4,000 a month for a US citizen on the lower end of the salary band. So $4,000 a month, and a standard game in US costs around $70. So that's only 1.7% of their monthly salary. Now I understand they have other expenses they need to worry about, but I'm not trying to look at that. I'm just trying to look at the percentage of their monthly salary they need to use to buy a single game, which is only 1.7% of their monthly salary. On the other hand, the average salary in India ranges around 15,000, 20,000, sometimes 25,000. So let's just go with the 20,000 a month average number. And a single game costs around 5,000 rupees. So that's like 25% of their salary. So if I'm earning like 20,000 a month, I literally have to pay 5,000 rupees to play a game. That's 25% of my salary. And with that huge of a gap between purchasing power, it kind of becomes impossible for an average Indian gamer to buy any new games. And I'm talking from my own experience. And that's the reason we tend to move towards piracy. And then some high and mighty guy will come around and start lecturing us about how piracy is so bad for gaming. They'll start asking us to purchase the games directly so that we can support the developers and all that bullshit. Man, shut the fuck up. Literally just shut the fuck up. I mean, see, if you can afford a game, if you have that just extra change just lying around, yeah, all the power to you. You buy that game, you support the developers and everything. But don't fucking come here and start lecturing us about how this is so bad. Buy the game and everything and support the developers. No, again, shut the fuck up, man. It's not us who needs to support those developers or those publishers. No, it should be the other way around. Those developers or publishers, they will need to support Indian gamers first. They will need to figure out. And once they start supporting Indian gamers first, then we can start thinking about buying those games for them and start thinking about that. But again, it should start from the developer's point of view, from the publisher's point of view, not from the consumer point of view. Okay, so it's the developers who will have to figure out the purchasing parity. They will have to start thinking about their pricing structure and how they release their games, new games in India on a new pricing structure. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. And the gaming market in India will never boom. I mean, the actual gaming market, not that fucking mobile gaming market. Fucking hate those mobile games, man. Those PUBG and those Free Fire. They're ruining the Indian gaming industry. They're actually doing that. Okay, I don't want to go on a tangent, so let's just come back. So the developers really need to think about purchasing power and price their games accordingly in Indian market. Otherwise, it will just become harder and harder to buy those games and play those games. And with GTA 6 just few months away, there are rumors that that game would cost around $100. $100 freaking dollars. That means around 10,000 rupees in India. I mean, that's just mind-boggling. 10,000 rupees for a game, even if it's GTA 6, that's just not acceptable. I mean, if that really happens, that's it, done. Tata bye bye GTA 6. I just won't be able to afford to play that game. And I pray to gods that it's not true. That it's just a rumor. I have upcoming video on that rumor, so please stay tuned for that. So yes, that was my rant about piracy and pricing structure for games in India. And it's really important for us as Indian gamers to make sure that the developers and publishers, they are aware about this issue. They are aware about this purchasing parity. So please just try to share this video as much as possible, and let's just hope it makes a difference. Otherwise, we keep selling the high seas to find that one piece.